we'll talk about AMC and GME really quick. AMC says it won't seek shareholder approval to issue more shares. So the CEO, Adam Aron, he said, "It's no secret I think shareholders should authorize 25 million more AMC shares, but what you think is important to us. Many yes, many no. AMC does not want to proceed with such a split, so we're canceling the July vote on more shares and no more such requests in 2021." So that's huge. It's just saying that the CEO is not going to do a 25 million share offering and dilute the stock even more, because there's a following with these whole meme stocks, right? The whole premise of it is the large short interest of these stocks. So if there are more shares that are sold by the company, that dilutes the share, and the potential for the share to go higher due to a short squeeze, because there's more shares put into the float, put into circulation, so more people can buy up, which means the shorted institutions and people will buy those up really quick, and then it's just less potential for a short squeeze. So he sees that, he knows that a lot of shareholders, like retail, don't want any more dissolution of these shares, and so he hears this, and this is why AMC went up today and then went down a little bit, and I think just ended up the day just barely below. So that's good news on AMC side. We could go to the GME, which is another one that took a hit today. By the way, for AMC, there are two more days, people. Either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. It's going to be pretty big days for AMC because they are still on the threshold list, which means that the short positions have to close their positions, right? So again, tomorrow and Thursday,
Wait,
expect something
does it mean
interesting.
current shorts have to close, or does it mean there's just no new shorts that are allowed?
Well, it's been
Because if you put
on
someone on the threshold list, does that mean that everyone who's shorting it is forced to buy out of their position?
just the failed to delivers that have been failing to deliver for the past 5 days, and the threshold list, it has to be more than, I believe, 5% of shares outstanding. So it's
Okay,
something that is that's a pretty large number of shares, and
that is that is large number
and
two.
to fail to deliver for, in total it's 13 days, but to get on that threshold list you have to just fail for 5 days straight consecutively, then you get put on that threshold list. So after 5 days you got 8 days to settle up completely, and we already know that it went on the list the 28th of June, right? So we are nearly 8 days there. So tomorrow it should be an interesting day. And I believe AMC has just been taking hits so that these shorts should be able to cover at a lower price. So today, AMC took a hit, even though it got good news. It went up 5% and went down 3.94%, ending the day. You know, that's because they need to shore up their position and they want to get it at a lower price. So of course they're gonna try any which way to get that stock down. GameStop ended 1.61% today lower, so it went a little bit negative, but that's saying that it went down a whole 4 to 5% and then bounced back up at the end of the day. We've been seeing
But
this.
there's also
It's
something really important about GME. They
Yes,
finished under 200.
they did surprisingly finished 46 cents, 44 cents. I'm sorry, under $200.
I
So that
wonder if
is,
people will take that as a bearish sign tomorrow, since 200 seemed to be a pretty good psychological floor.
and that's what they're gonna try to do. They're gonna try to make it that it's like, hey, you didn't finish under over 200.
No, I
Wow,
just mean the
you're
general market.
losing.
Well, that's how market works, right? Support and resistance are generally psychological levels that we can
Exactly.
quantify in the market. So if you looked at 200 as a floor over the last month, roughly, since it hit 320, and then over the last month, it's basically been hovering above 200, kind of up and down. I wonder if that'll be a. I
I
mean,
mean,
if aftermarket, it's pretty flat, but I would
I
wonder if
love how in
tomorrow.
the market I was watching the minute by minute ticker. the candlesticks, and once it hit, it was going up. It was at a nice trend. It hit 198.99, and it went from a volume of barely 1,000 to 20,000. Right when it hit 198.99, they didn't want them to pass up that threshold, and that's when it's like a wall.
Oh,
198.99 was right here. They're like, you ain't getting past, you ain't getting past, and then it went lower, and that's just psychologically and
could also be
manipulatively what's
algorithms.
happening in with
They
the
could also have
algorithms. Yeah,
algorithms trading,
it's the algos.
which in that case would just be rules. So investors are marking that as a specific level. Then, if you
Yeah.
see a lot of
So
activity at those levels spontaneously, it's either a lot of the lots of retail investors have the same idea, or a lot of algorithms are being targeted at those levels specifically because they're like, hey, if it bounces against this as a resistance, maybe we sell. Maybe this is what we looked at as our sell sign.
yeah,
So that
and it's
those are how we explain lots of volume too.
aftermarket. It just got up to 199.97. It didn't even. It was so close to
It's still pretty
passing
flat.
that 200
Right, I'm not saying it's
mark,
gonna
but
necessarily fall. I wonder if people
yeah, it
or
could be
day
a
traders will look at this as a
psychological.
bearish signal because if they look at 200 as a psychological support and you go through that support, then in general, when you break through support, you generally see sustained movements down through the support as people
Mm-hmm.
kind of reallocate and realign their position. So I'm just it'll be interesting. I wonder
Definitely.
if that'll be what
I
happens.
mean, at the same time, the volume has been at an all-time low as of recently. Today, a volume of 2.7 million. At least it was up from 2.3 million, but we know that that is a very low volume, especially for GameStop, where its average right now, after this decline and decline over months, is now at 7.5 million volume for its average.
Average
So
over how long?
over, well, it should be a 12-month moving average for
Oh, it's the rolling 12 months, and yeah.
yeah. So it's pretty, it's still low comparative. I mean, at its high points, its volume was 190 million, so volume, and now it's been going down and going down and down. So we'll see. But the good news on GameStop is GameStop said it has leased a 530,000 square foot facility in Reno, Nevada, to expand in the west of the United States. Better to get their products in one place and ship them out on the West Coast, along with their 700,000 square foot facility in York, Pennsylvania, to cover the East Coast. So they're expanding. They're trying to get more ground and get their facilities running at a higher pace because they're just preparing for a better market flow for
I
them.
think this is what we call a Hail Mary because it sounds like they're just beefing up for inventory of physical assets, but I don't think their physical asset business is really where they need to be putting
Gonna be
their
digital
money into.
assets.
We'll
I would
see.
I would honestly I would even argue that Josh could get the point on this and say, yeah, they should just stay at fucking NFTs.
They
'Cause
are. They're very.
nobody I don't
They're
buy
getting
games
NFTs.
personally from GameStop anymore. I mean everyone buys
No.
it from Xbox. My thing is they won't even have a Xbox One X. I think in the PlayStation don't have disc drives anymore. The PS5 might have one. Josh, does the
Yeah.
PS5 have a disc drive?
I think it does. Yeah.
Okay,
I
well,
mean,
the new
see,
the Xbox One X.
I believe GameStop's going to go more into a tech company. So if you want to build a computer, they're going to have the chips. They're going to have everything from anything that's gaming. They're going to have, and that's what I believe they're expanding into. So we should be seeing some more guidance in their next hearing coming up on what their game plan is for expanding. And I think they're going to try going into technology, more of a tech sector than just being known for gaming. So we'll see how that goes. They got $1.1 billion on their last sharehold sell off, so it should be interesting.
Not, you mean last time they did a share distribution to increase the number of outstanding shares?
Yes, they
Oh,
they
yeah.
sold off approximately $1.1 billion worth of shares.
Wow.
So it was a good offering for them.
I mean, yeah, they
Share
should
offering.
definitely take this time to gain all the financing they're going to need because I have my serious doubts. Oh, but then again, hey, look, Blockbuster still exists. There's like 3 of them. So,
You've
you
seen
know,
one? That's legendary.
They still exist.
Need.
Like they only have
No.
they have only like a few physical stores that still exist. Most of them no longer do, and most of it's only like online stuff. I think in maintenance, but I think they still kept like a few physical stores in honor of the at least one of them. I think they kept in honor of the original chain. I don't think they completely got rid of all of them. I think there's still at least one Blockbuster.
So I looked it up. PlayStation has two different types. One's for digital video games only, and the other one you pay a little bit more and you're able to use disc.
Yeah, number of locations, one remaining in Bend, Oregon. Yes, I was right. They have one physical Blockbuster left in Oregon. But yeah, no, I like that. I mean, I like the PS5 like that, but I feel like eventually they'll also move to online because you'll have like
Everything's online right now, like as in like
just make
streamable.
for games. It just makes sense because when you play a game, if you have to keep putting in the damn disc every single time you want to change it, it becomes kind of like agitating. You just switch between 2-3 games. That's what Call of Duty does. That's what Call of Duty. You download all the games and you can jump between them, right? You can jump between what is it, Warzone, Modern Warfare, and uh,
Zombies.
Black Ops. So like the three main franchises they have now are combined across the same platform. So you can handle all of your updates from there. You can handle moving between all three games from there, and they keep the whole franchise in one place, which I think is plus most games are being remastered and pumped out again online.
Yep.
So but we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see if GameStop can turn themselves around, but they got a lot of competition.
A lot of competition, but it should be interesting for them